Aim high, take action, achieve more.
No matter how bad the society is, a few will still be good. No matter how good the society is, a few will still be what? Bad!
Shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. It doesn't appear in the corporate organization.
Remember that the skills that take you up there are not necessarily the skills that will sustain you up there.
When you rush and find an answer, you are comforted by the answer and you stop being curious. And chances are you've got the wrong answer, or it's a partial answer.
I know many doctors now who have to go and take courses in communication, journalism, because that's the way the field is.
Those who achieve extraordinary results, to my mind, are those who put in extraordinary efforts.
When you're attracting a disruptive hypothesis, you must be wrong at the start to be right at the end.
In life's journey, what you know for sure is that you would move. What you don't know for sure is whether you would move this way, or that way, or that way, or this way. You don't even know what way forward is.
There's no career, no profession that is as good as enjoying what you are doing and making money from it. Getting paid for doing what you like doing. I was talking to a young lady, my friend's daughter. She's based in the US. She came home some 2-3 years back and came to visit me. And I asked her, oh, so what are you doing? You know, what profession are you in? She said, I'm a dancer. Dancer? What kind of dancer? Ballet dancer, you know, all those ones that... So I said, what's the prospect? What would you do? What happens when you are no longer young? What happens if you fall ill? What happens, you know, how can you grow? There will be younger people, you know, who will dance better than you will do at some point. So what are you going to do? There are things you need to avoid in choosing your career. Your ego should not drive you. Emotions should not drive you. You know, you must think about the prospects before you choose your career.
Is a way of life, a complete way. It's a complete way.
MasterClass basically is a program we are using to improve the abilities and competencies of young people. You know, it's actually an MPAC youth program where we bring in experts in the industry to come and talk to our people about career, entrepreneurship, things to do to make them move ahead in life.
I got to know about this program online. I'm really looking up to them to give me some tips that have helped them to get to where they are today.
I want to improve my self-confidence, and it's the major reason why I'm here today. I want to improve my outlook on life generally, and to gain 1 or 2 knowledge that is going to be beneficial to me in my career in the future.
The MPAC MasterClass is uniquely designed to engage the youth in a very challenging and stimulating environment with opportunities for learning from accomplished Muslim professionals, thought leaders, and experts in various fields and specializations.
For the last 4 years, we've had on a yearly basis the MPAC Convention. The aim of the MPAC Convention is to create a current platform where Muslims and non-Muslims can share ideas on how we can live peacefully.
The recently concluded two-day Pioneer program held on the 12th and 13th of December 2015 at the LCCI Conference and Exhibition Center, Alausa, Ikeja, Lagos, was the maiden edition, a flavor of what we have got in stock.
If you can see yourself as owning a company in the next 5 years, the next question would be how? Abi? That would be the next question. How? What are your strengths? Have you ever sold anything before? Have you ever owned a smaller company? Do you know anybody who has owned one before that you think you can start to understudy? Is there something that you started to, how have you, the internet is open now, you can check online. So when you start to do all of this, you start to prepare your mind, you start to see yourself differently. If somebody says something about it near you, because it's part of your goal plan, you will listen a little more, right? You will listen. For example, when I started my online, before I started my online business, I didn't know that it was available on the Konga platform to sell. I didn't know. I was talking to another friend on how I can have my own website. And I was thinking that how would I have my own website, manage a website, and with a full-time job of being a doctor, and there's somebody else, and then the way Lagos is now, you call some boys to edit a few things on your website, they charge you 5K, they charge you 10K, and then you see this stuff, and like, please don't make me remove it, and they charge you another one. And then somebody will call you, your website is down, what's happening? So I was looking for what can I do? Who can I join to have something like this? And I just went to buy something on Konga and I saw sell on Konga. And it was like, wow. And I clicked on it and it was a real click. So what am I trying to say? You see, as you are preparing to change, you will see things you will see the opportunities, they will come. Because as you are now, the opportunities come. But you can't identify them if they are simply not part of your plan.
The MPAC MasterClass was an engaging and educative experience with an extensively rewarding learning, coaching, mentoring, and leadership classes for about 90 participants.
If you look at the number of participants here, it's not such a very big class, but if you look at the kind of impact and the kind of knowledge and skills that has been transferred to them, it's an investment that is going to yield the fruits on the long term. So, and that's why I said I commend the organizers of the event for even making it free.
When somebody started pure water business, it became a disruption. But the person that started that sachet, with the person that patented that thing, the person can make money from every other person that will start using that pure water, that same shape. Today the Nestle bottle is patented. Nobody can use this bottle. So it's a disruption, but it has now become a commodity. So you need to ask yourself, everybody is stuck in this same predicament, nothing has changed over time. You also need to look at an area where the profit is average. The more that and should be more successful than it is. If you look at the transportation business today, the profit is average, and it will be more successful than it is. And people have disrupted the transportation business. I took a taxi from Yabatek and I was going to the airport. And I was telling the taxi man that about a few years, people will not take this taxi again. We didn't understand it. I'll share with us as we go on how the taxi business has been disrupted and it will be disrupted even further in the future. A category where growth is very slow and everything seems the same.
A situation where the management is not just or is not fair, obviously, and then not something that is not deliberate also. What is best? Is it to quit or to keep trying to, when you keep trying to change him, trying to let him see things, but it's becoming difficult, relationship is getting strained and it puts you in a very risky
situation. Because of that, like I said, anything that is not good is not good, particularly from the Islamic perspective.
So once you identify that what he is doing is not good to his staff or whatever, you have the courage. But the things we don't have, I have, is the courage to face people, even my boss. I will go to him or go to them, wherever, but I'm going to be respectful in delivering the message. Remember what the prophet, what the Almighty Allah told Musa, to deliver the message. But you should know that you want to deliver a message to a king that is very treacherous. But this is how you should deliver the message. So, a medical doctor sets up a clinic and has patients. And whenever they come, of course, the purpose is to treat them, to make them well, isn't it? That job on its own, is it a lawful job or unlawful job? Lawful job. Therefore, we expect that every income coming from a lawful job must also be what? Must also be what? Must also be lawful, isn't it? But not at all times. Are you getting me? You can be doing a lawful job and making an unlawful income. Is that correct? Yes. It's very true. For example, argument, you have done, a patient comes to you as a medical doctor, you have listened to him or her, you have done your diagnosis, you have agreed the treatment, the drug you're going to take. And you said that, look, this drug, if you buy it in our own pharmacy here, it's going to be 2,500 naira. But if you go to my own pharmacy, you buy it there for say 1,200 naira. Because the pharmacy shop belongs to you. And the patient goes there and buys and pays. The man has earned an income, isn't it? Is it a good income? Why? Actually, why is it not a good income?
He discriminated the pharmacy of the hospital to profit himself.
To profit himself. He has used the facility, the resources of his employer to benefit himself. To today's program, that is entitled Ethical and Character Building, the main goal, the objective of this program is to ensure that the participants, they appreciate the importance of character in our life, the importance of our conduct, the importance of our behavior, that everything man does. If this element, if this is not there, this quality is not there, then you find that it is not complete. The chance of even giving the society a pitch. So if the participants are able to go home with the understanding of what ethics and character building is all about, I think they will come out as people that will see things and do things in a very, very positive manner.
Because your BSc in accounting, for instance, or your LLB in law 20 years ago may not be comparable to the LLB of today for obvious reasons. Laws have changed, environment has changed, situation has changed, the economy has changed. So in order to keep abreast of happenings, of issues in your profession, you are expected to keep pace with your mandatory continuing professional education. And except you do that, you will be found wanting in your job. Because the degree you obtained 20 years ago may not be relevant today in terms of the content of the degree or what you were taught then. Okay? So that may be a challenge, and except the organization take it as a responsibility and personal responsibility as well, you may not be able to catch up. Lack of awareness is also a challenge. Sometimes you simply do not know, even though in this era of internet, where information is free, basically almost freely available at the touch of a button. So if you don't know what is happening in your industry or in the space in which you operate, it may be a challenge for you. Lifestyles, again, this is a tough one because as Muslims, there are certain things we cannot do. Like you have really said around that we have rules in our own religion which we must abide by, irrespective of where we are and wherever we find ourselves. Some lifestyles may positively or negatively affect your career development.
I was part of a research under a group called Global Entrepreneurship Monitor. And we discovered that when you look at entrepreneurship intention, the intention for which people become entrepreneurs, you discover that there are broadly two types of entrepreneurs. Opportunity or improvement-driven entrepreneurs, or necessity-driven entrepreneurs. And I will explain. My brother left school. He looked for work, he couldn't find work. He opened a barber shop. It's a necessity-driven entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship was not his passion. Such a person, yeah, I tell you that there is a job in Chevron, you will close that shop. And I've discovered that a lot of Nigerians are what? Necessity-driven. It is not wrong to be a necessity-driven entrepreneur. But what is preferable, that even if you started as a necessity-driven entrepreneur, you must proceed to the next stage and become an opportunity-driven entrepreneur. The question is, who is an opportunity-driven entrepreneur? An opportunity-driven entrepreneur is the person, even when he closes his eyes, he's thinking, how else can I make money in this economy? He's always looking for what? Opportunity. I was in Bochi, I came back from Bochi on Thursday. And all the brothers I spoke with in Bochi told me that there's nothing in Bochi. And I told them it's not true. I have seen opportunities, they are seeing nothing. So a lot of times a mindset, okay, that tells us there is nothing.
The hands-on and practical sessions equip the participants with the knowledge, skills, and confidence required to compete in today's globalized world and fast-changing business environment.
An engaged employee is somebody who's got ownership thinking. Engaged employees feel energized, passionate, and dedicated. They are highly involved with their work and the organization. A satisfied employees feel comfortable, are generally happy that their needs are being met. Engaged employees, optimal performance. Satisfied employees, average performance. I'm not talking about the satisfied employees here now, because those ones are lost causes. There's no point debating them. The characteristics of the satisfied: he meets minimum performance requirements, he rarely helps others for the betterment of the organization, generally keep to themselves, committed to the degree that their needs are met, and stay at the organization because of what? At the end of the month, how far now, Oga? Allah never show. Yeah? The engaged employee helps others for the betterment of the organization, consistently exceeds performance requirements, recommends improvement opportunities, has a sense of purpose and pride in their work, and stay in the organization for what they do, what they give to it. Ownership thinking, entitlement thinking. The right character, if you want to be somebody to be reckoned with, somebody they call on all the time, that is relied upon, is what? Ownership thinking and ownership mindset, not entitlement. Nobody is entitled to anything. Make your own unique contribution and leave the rest to the person who sent you here. Even compensation.
We have quite a number of people, initially about 300 students, actually applied for this online, and we've screened them to cut down to about 100. And the process has been very tough. We've packed what will look like as 2 weeks plus work into 2 days work for us to actually engage participants in this course.
If this were to be MTN, okay, how many years would it take this gentleman to get here? That's the truth. You will never get there. So when you are joining the companies, when you leave and you are joining companies or in your careers and you are working, you have probably be starting from here. Okay? Now, my job is to teach you how to get here. Because I've started here and I've been able to get here. And in some other companies, I've been able to start here and I'm here on the board. So how did I make it from here to here? Not just my story, but the story of so many people who have been able to do it. So you don't come back and say, no, you know, because we're Muslims, we can't get to the top. It's not true. It's not true. It's not. You have the more discipline and the more exposure, you can get to the top that you're a Muslim. Okay? Do they have rules? Yes. Is it a science? Yes. Can it be taught? Yes. Can it be learned? Yes. And that is what we're going to do. But the upper you go, the law of physics again, right? They say it's what? The cooler it becomes? Okay, now I tell you, the upper you go now, that rule will be broken. The tougher it becomes and the hotter it becomes. As a junior staff in my life, I never had gray hair. No gray hair, I don't have trouble, I don't have anything. I just go to work. At the end of 30 days, they give me salary, and I go home, and I spend it, and I enjoy my money. I stopped enjoying my money when I start getting here. I stopped enjoying my money when I get here. And I started having gray hair, started from my nose, okay, to my eyelid. That's how I started. I'm not even growing gray hair on the head. It's from my eyelid and from my nose. Everything inside this morning, I have to plug a lot out to come here so that I don't say, who is this person? Okay? So, why? Because the pressure is here up. So you must be ready for those pressure.
This coaching, mentoring and leadership development program was for Muslim youth graduates and undergraduates between the ages of 18 and 35 and was structured under 3 broad themes: career development, entrepreneurship, and spiritual development.
Social skills are important. The kind of people that you meet in the next 5 years will determine where you get to in the next 5 years. If you are still stuck to your old friends, they are good, but you refuse to mingle with the new friends or refuse to understand that there's a new change in ideology. People are now talking about APC and PDP, no longer UPN and NPN, then you will not move forward. Okay? So you have to be adaptive, you must adapt to the time, but realize that the skills that you pick up are not those skills that will actually allow you to stay there. And you should also do things that are in line with your passion. Do you know how to draw? Do you like singing? Do you like writing? What are those things that you like to do that you know you are good at? In your spare time, try and just do them. Don't stay where you are. Just achieve as much as you can. So my last slide is just to tell us that wherever you are, you must plan. You must always have an exit plan. You must always have an exit plan. And Aliko Dangote may be the richest man, maybe, but he has exit plans for most of this into it. Okay. So today you are an officer, you want to be the CEO, you are appointed as the CEO. The day you get to the job must be the day you should plan, when am I going to leave? How do I want to leave? What legacy do I want to leave behind? There's people that try to have this sit-tight syndrome that usually end up leaving organizations most times in disgrace without planning what they want to do. That's if you are working in a corporate organization.
I believe it is instrumental for all Muslims to contribute in ways that they can to actually develop or foster the development of the Ummah. And I feel privileged to have undergone a lot of experiences in my life. It's just one of my ways of giving back to the society. Participating in this MPAC MasterClass has allowed me to interact with a lot of youth, to share with them ideas about life, how they can move to where they are from where they currently, how they can move to where they should move to from where they currently are, how they can understand themselves and understand the dynamics that supports making serious economic decisions.
Most people think social media is just for the guys that read computer science or the jobless brother in the house that is just pinging the phone and things like that. It's not. It's one of the most powerful tools that have changed the world since 2004. Everything that happened in the Middle East would have happened if not for social media. Even Muhammad Buhari may have not become the president of the nation if not for social media, and that's a fact. If he had stopped in 2011 and didn't give an extra, let me just try in 2015, he wouldn't be there. It was in 2015 that everyone became returning officer. We all had calculators, we all had spreadsheets, and we're posting our answers, our what's it called, results, pool by pool, and validating it. So it's very, very important that as an individual, also as a business, we need to say this. So to kind of also put more emphasis on the reason why we need to do social media, I'm just going to mention some global and kind of local stats. I don't know if you can see this. On average, globally, we spend minimum of 2 hours on our mobile phone. Not just on our mobile phone, but on mobile internet. Globally, yes, we have problems in Nigeria. There's no light, the internet is expensive, I understand. But the trend is the same every single way across the world. We spend on average, out of that 2 hours, 1 hour, 77 minutes on social media. What that means is that your brother, your uncle, your nephew spend time on this platform. As a business, your consumers, your users, your clients are using social media. They're on this platform.
Muslims should never be violent. You know how? This verse was revealed before the Battle of Badr. And you know what happened? Muslims were in the battlefront. Some people are choosing to attack the Muslims, and the Muslims refuse to fight. Why? Because Islam has said they should not fight, they should never fight non-Muslims. The enemies who are attacking them, they refuse to fight back. Why? Because they have been ordered not to fight people. But when they got to the battlefront, until Allah revealed the verse, like He said, that you are in the battlefront, then fight back in equal measure. When they smite you, smite them. When they cut you, you cut them. Until then was when the Muslims fought back. And it was specific to that battle, or instances in the future where there are similar battles between Muslims and non-Muslims. So the first rule from there was that Muslims don't fight anybody. For whatever reason. Don't fight people. Why? Even instances when people want to fight you, when you can avoid it. Prophet said when you are fasting, somebody wants to cause trouble, what do you say? Oh, they mean they saw him. I'm fasting. Sorry, I can't fight. I won't fight you. So that is Islam. Not somebody who does not aggress you, you aggress them. The Quran says, Lakum dinukum. Your deal for you is your religion, for me is mine, so why should we fight? We should never be engaged in a fight.
But one thing I want to say about entrepreneurship is you have to believe in yourself. Because nobody else will. It is you alone, and you are the one that understands what you want to achieve. And when you come across all those obstacles, don't forget your plan. Simon talked about the fact that you must have a plan, you must have goals. It's extremely important. I remember the first day we set up rifles, and I said I wanted to do sausage rolls. That's the traditional gala. Yeah, everybody knows. And we wanted to buy the equipment. And what you do, you find out when that's going to buy the equipment. So I went to the guy that sells the equipment. And I said I wanted to buy 2 ovens. And he goes to me, can't you think of anything else to do? Of all things, and at the time, the Grace was about 47 years old, Gala brand. And why would you want to fight a 47-year-old brand? And there's no chance, think of something else to do. And that struck me a lot, because until that moment, I could not understand what the problem was. That struck me, and Okay, now this one we want to do as ignorant as it might be, no problem. I can tell you categorically, 7 years later, we are #1 equal.
John Maxwell wrote a book about myth, the position myth. Some of us say that I cannot live unless I get to the top. That's not true. Then you have what you call the blind spot. Known to others, not known to you. So you think you are a humble person and they say, ah, that guy, very arrogant. So they know it's known to others, but it's not known to you. That's the area where you want to watch out for and reduce your blind spot. But that's how people perceive you. They perceive you as being arrogant, why you think you are humble. The fourth area is our hidden area. Known to us, not known to others. So the fact that I bed wet is known only to me and whoever sleeps with me. It's not known to you unless you are my doctor, if I come to complain to you. Right? So that's one area you want to work upon.
I take it as a matter of fact to do something new every year. This year I've done 2 things new. In 2015, I bought a chameleon for my family. They were able to keep it for like 2 weeks and it ran away. And the next time we did was we bought a tortoise, and the same thing to happen to me. In fact, in the house I was living, they thought I was a babayamo. Yes, one of the women and she was shouting, she was hysterical, and my wife said, "You need to get this thing out." I said, "What is it? Why? I see myself as somebody in need, and I can bring something to the table. And if I work for me in my own organization, in that I bring something unique to the table, and it's like, where did you get this idea, right? You need to move out of that comfort zone, I mean, people are so comfortable with doing the same thing over and over again, and you won't get the same, you won't get a different answer. Why did I bring that story for my family? Because I don't think that practically, if I want to do something new, if I want to build a partnership with somebody, I must test the assumption on ourselves, right? In my own environment. Bounce it off somebody, see if it works, right? Okay, maybe just 2 people are crazy about me, about chameleon and tortoise in my family. But then, if I go back to my place of work and I think of something that can bring something that throws everybody off the balance, but I'm still on top of my game. And this is what the gentleman who came here said. You have to be on top of your game. The only time that you need 4 witnesses is when people make allegation of zina against our sisters. Then you need 4 people to confirm that one person. And if you couldn't find 4, then the witness of that one sister supersedes the witnesses of 3 men, for instance. So we have to have the knowledge of the day to be able to advance arguments like this before non-Muslims. Why does a woman have to take half of what a man takes? Right? In terms of inheritance, men, by nature, the responsibility, Islamically, the responsibility of man is at least twice that of the woman in all instances. As a girl, you'll be expected to be cared for by your father, and in the absence of your father, by your brother. As a husband, you'll be expected to be taken care of by your husband. Islamically speaking, our sisters are not expected to contribute to maintaining the home, i.e. financially. They are not expected to spend their money on the children. They are not expected to put money down, right, to maintain the homes. When they do, they are only doing as support for the man. So if you take all this into consideration, certainly the man has a larger share or reasons to spend money than the woman. Even if we talk at the level of toasting, right? Let's use that word, toasting, right? If a brother and a sister are toasting each other, who is likely to buy the recharge card for the other? Sister, have you ever bought the recharge card for a brother that is toasting you? No. The other, have you ever bought a recharge card?
when you get young people together and you're channeling their energies constructively, the result can only be better for them as individuals and for the community as a whole. Even better that the community in this case will also be Islam. So I must give MPAC kudos for putting this together, and I want to encourage them not to rest on their oars and to continue to develop the Ummah and the youth so that they can become something really great tomorrow, and we will all reap the benefits of it, inshallah.
And looking at the modules and the content of the training and the program in general, it has been highly encouraging. And these are the things that our youth needed to move up in life. So I commend specifically the management of MPAC about the MasterClass. The MasterClass included the issue of spirituality, career development, and of course entrepreneurship. And I think these are the things that our youth needed to move up in life by themselves, and also our nation at large, to improve the potentials of this nation and the youth at large.
Because for a lot of the women that I have seen, even those that I've mentored and those that have had the privilege to maybe counsel their children or something, it always depends on the man, almost all the time. So if you are ready, you can push her to any length. Because you see, the honest truth is, my highest human motivator has been my husband. Everything that you see that I can do today. My siblings, every time, they still look at, is this really our sister? I was the last born. You know how last borns can be very motivated, just they do things for her and everything goes smoothly. I was lazy. Honestly, so the most important person is you. Because for a lot of women, their fears come from, how will I cope? My child, this, that. So when you say, don't worry, he'll be fine or she'll be fine. When you go to school, then we can keep her with, or we can keep her with grandma. And when I'm coming back from work, I'll pick the baby up, and I'll do this and do that. And then you can take your lectures, and he gives her a kind of confidence. You see, a lot of times in the subconscious of a woman, there's that, I want my home comes first, and I want to make sure everything is fine. I want to fix my home. When you give her the confidence that you're going to be there every step of the way, then it will give her that strength to move on.
3 years of your life, like most people want, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. Let me give you a classical example. The Eco Atlantic project. How many of us are aware about it? Eco Atlantic project. So, therefore, for those of us, I still see the class being an aspiring entrepreneur. Take your first takeaway now, note it down. As an entrepreneur, you need to read like mad. You must be very, very voracious in reading. You have to succeed. After all, you said you wanted to build a business that will outlast you. Then you must be aware of everything that is going on in the society. Not that is where the opportunity lies. They are going by. So therefore, you do not have anybody in this class that is already planning to take any opportunity from the Atlantic project. Maybe we think it's out of our own reach. Huh? So many of us do not know what it's all about. Now, if you do not know about Eco Atlantic, but you know about BI, Lekki Phase 1, all of those estates along Ajaz, you know about most of them. The truth is that go and conduct a personal research into it. 80%.
We want you to be different. We want you to be an ambassador for all of us. We want you to be in a position where now we are safer. Now we are better. Imagine if 5 of you lift 5 more people as you get into management level. And those 5 people come and lift 5 more people next year. And those 5 people, oh, you are already signing up to that. And now apply. And you see, if you continue to do that, one day the landscape will change. It will be different. I do have a couple of guys. I run a property company, we buy up virgin land and keep it under the pillow and make a couple of millions. I do construction, I do training, I do many things. But those are sidekicks. This is really what is important to me. Of course, those who pay my taxes and pay my bills. But But this is what takes me to agenda. And I am really happy and glad that I'm speaking with you. And I'm hoping, at least I have one person who has signed up already. When you get to that position of authority, you will make a difference. You just not forget that you're a Muslim.
I made dua, I did my Isra, and I told Allah that, oh, please, I don't want you to tempt me with, what will not be good for me. So, looking back, when everybody was saying that, I would just laugh. I said, sometimes don't allow us to do this. He will just want you to know that he's really the one in charge. Even the people that had power to, they just needed to sign on my paper. And they couldn't understand why I didn't get it. I didn't get employment and all that. But I just laughed and all that. And I said alhamdulillah. Because looking back, I think maybe perhaps if I had started my career as a banker, I would not have taken this path.
Extremism is defense of liberty. It's no fight. It's not a bad thing. You are extreme, in your defense of what is good, of public good, what is right. It is not a bad thing. Moderation in the pursuit of knowledge is also not a virtue. So it is important to do that. However, I also need to call your attention to the fact that it's a complex phenomenon. It is not just as simply explained the way I've actually put it. If you say simply because it has some positive attributes, they want to go around calling people extremists because they are nice people or they are good people, then you may end up passing a wrong idea of that person's personality across to other people around you. So extremism is a complex phenomenon, although its complexity is often hard to see. Most simply, it can be defined as activities, beliefs, attributes, feelings, actions, or strategies of a character far removed from the ordinary. I think somebody mentioned that. Somebody actually put his finger on the button there. So it is something that's out of ordinary, from the mainstream, from what every other person believes, or what the majority believe and practice. However, the labeling of activities, people, and groups as extremists, and the defining of what is ordinary in any setting is always a subjective and political matter. So, for instance, if I accuse somebody of being an extremist, what yardstick defines what the ordinary is that this guy is deviating from? Who defines that? Now, at the moment, I want you to take your mind away from extremism in religion. We are talking, in general terms. Extremism can be political, it can be social, it can be religious. So it covers all the areas. So who defines the criteria to identify the ordinary, the mainstream, so such that it empowers us or allows us to accuse somebody of defeating that ordinary or that which is mainstream.
Video talks includes Aliko Dangote's top 10 rules for success.
And you must be consistent. When you try a business and you start, you might have hiccups here and there, but it does not mean that that business is not going to work. There must be challenges. In fact, what I keep saying is that life without challenges is very, very boring. So if you have challenges, you just have to know how to work out or how to work around these challenges, and you will be successful once you are consistent. What business doesn't like is for you to try something and then once you have one or two problems, now you want to change and move into another business. That doesn't work in business at all.
Yasmin Abdel Majid's unconscious bias.
Someone who looks like me walks past you in the street. Do you think they're a mother, a refugee, or a victim of oppression? Or do you think they're a cardiologist, a barrister, or maybe your local politician? Do you look me up and down, wondering how hot I must get, or if my husband has forced me to wear this outfit? What if I wore my scarf like this? I can walk down the street in the exact same outfit, and what the world expects of me and the way I'm treated depends on the arrangement of this piece of cloth.
And daily habits of successful people. It's all about routine.
Being asked, what are the habits of successful people? What is it that successful people do habitually every single day that leads to them being in the top 20% of money earners in our society? Well, Aristotle said that 95% of everything you do is the result of habit. So the rule is form good habits and make them your masters, rather than allowing bad habits to form.
The brother that did the last presentation here did say something. I was sitting behind there and I picked it from him. He said each and every one of us is a signpost for Islam. So while the media is shouting the Muslims are the Boko Haram, let the community be seeing something different from you. Let the community see something, see hope, and see courage for tomorrow. I came in here, I was quite happy. If the number is not more than 10, that will take the message out there and encourage other people, then we are happy.
It has allowed me to realize that wherever I do, I have to follow these 3 keywords. That is, I need to do things right, I need to be just, I need to be good. That is, whenever I'm doing it, I have to make sure that these 3 factors are complete. It should not be 2/3, neither 1/3, it should be 3/3.
My experience here is, in fact, unspeakable. I've achieved a lot because my thinking initially was that there is no opportunity in this country, so to speak. But getting here from the experience I've gathered, from the knowledge I've gathered here, in fact, right from the classroom, I began to see lots of opportunities around me.
It's a way of life for all. It is taught in the Quran for big and small.
All the facilitators are putting their personality into the program just to make the topics relevant and for us to gain more about what they've learned.
The training has actually motivated a lot of participants that we are having around. I, on my own personal self, it's actually widening the horizon. That's one. Secondly, it has actually imparted the impossibility to be possible now.
I like the selection of participants. So the class is a nice mix of different professionals, and for me it was a very rewarding experience in terms of being able to have a discussion with other people on my own topic in particular. I chose to talk about the game plan, goal setting amongst young people and how they can put this in perspective vis-a-vis professional goals, personal goals, career goals, communication, teamwork, and things like that. You know, pretty much we go all through our professional years without having clear goals, and in the process not really achieving tangible things. So I just wanted to bring to the consciousness of the participants, you know, the importance of having goals and having clear plans of where they want to go to.
Really about what values does this program really, brought to the life of Muslims. And like I said, every Muslims need to be here. Reason being that we have already created a very huge gap. We are not there in this society. Business-wise, we are not there. Industry-wise, we are not there. We don't find our own, brothers in most of these highly placed, corporations and co. Because we have limitations. We have paucity of knowledge. We lack information. We lack detail about what goes on in the society. So if MPAC actually organizes a program like this to start, raising new set of Muslims who could be captains of industries tomorrow by being entrepreneurs or intrapreneurs and co like that, why it's a welcome, development that every Muslim is supposed to be part of.
I'm really impressed with the MPAC MasterClass program. It was really exciting, it was fun, and it cut the audience, the participant cut across different people. I've seen students, I've seen working class mothers, It just cuts across different backgrounds. I think that's really good because even the participants will be learning directly and indirectly from each other. I think it's a very, very good idea, a very laudable idea, and I say kudos to the organizers of the program. For participants, my advice is that they should not stop seeking for knowledge. They should remember that as Muslims, the very first thing that came to the Rasul Sallam from the angel Jibril was the word Ikra, which means read. So as Muslims, we must continue to seek for knowledge. I'm happy that we have people coming for this kind of event, and I'm hoping that they take a lot away, but they shouldn't let this be the end. They should continue to look for other opportunities to get better at what they do.
Stone unturned, perfect with no flaws at all, are the laws of Allah. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. It's a complete way.
Visit www.mpac-events.org or contact masterclass@mpac-ng.org for more details.
A way of life, a way.
MPAC Masterclass, Career, Entrepreneurship, Spirituality.
Do you know what Islam is? It's a way of life for all. It is taught in the Quran for big and small. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. Do you know what Islam says? It says that life's the greatest test. It says that life's a borrowed space, returned upon rest. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. Islam solves all of its problems. Allah leaves no stone unturned. Perfect with no flaws at all are the laws of Allah. A way of life, a way of life, a way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. It's a complete way.